U.S. troops to secure the border, those sneaking across it have had to get a bit more creative, trying things that were unheard of just a few months ago. Because as you're about to see, they're extremely risky.
Those people that are right here on this side, they're gonna cross.
They're part of the Boat Patrol for Border Patrol's Eagle Pass office and are in charge of keeping a close eye on the traffic patterns of illegal crossings.
That's actually the storm drain right there. It's the one of 300 miles here on the El Paso border. It is very dangerous for agents because of the toxic gas and the flash floods. They're saying that migrants usually get abandoned by smugglers. There is no service, there's no light, there's no food. These migrants don't have any type of equipment.
These barriers are part of Governor Greg Abbott's Operation Lone Star. They're meant to block migrants crossing into the U.S.
They rotate, preventing anyone from climbing over them, and extend at least a foot underwater.
It's clearly visible from Mexico, so for anyone to even think about crossing that river, knowing that all that infrastructure is in place, well, they're risking their lives.
How aggressive are some of these smugglers that you encounter?
There have been some incidents where they have taken evasive actions with their vessel, where they've driven their vessel into the side of our boat. They have thrown objects at us, they've thrown tools at us.
And this is what's going on. This is the reality. The movement is all at the hands of the cartel.
We seek mines to make our own.
Our forces have engaged the enemy.
So Texas, they built this river wall right here, but last year the federal government sued to try to get them to take it down. Which means stuff like this must be working.
I will deliver your order personally. I will deliver your order personally. I understand. Your business is appreciated.
Bold and salted. Bold and salted. Gangs are now using drain pipes, pieces of U.S. infrastructure they access, in order to send their clients miles underneath the border to try
As requested, the planet will soon leave the Unity.
Them with nothing but the promise of continued extortion for their exorbitant fees if those folks make it successfully into America. And these gangs, they're not some humanitarian
Revenge awaits.
At last, industry, which is now threatened like it's never been before. And they've got their cohorts not just spread along the U.S. southern border, but also
civilian structure complete.
Following up on whoever gets across to make sure they
we seek mines to make our own.
Production of the item is complete.
We offer the absolution of death. Revenge awaits.
Sent out of the country to criminals. Which
whatever the Unity
wills. Now doubling down on securing our waterways and infrastructure. Doing this, it's not only going to save lives, but it's going to shut these criminals down at the exact same time. However, our troops have their work cut out.
Planet item
these
ready.
Smugglers are crafty. They'll wait till the coast is clear and then try to rush across a waterway or enter
our
a piece
will
of infrastructure,
is
risking their own
transcendent.
safety, as well
We
as the
seek
safety of
mines to
everyone they
make
bring
our
with them,
own.
some of whom are packed into
We shall do as you command.
Mining upgrade complete.
Yes.
And this is what's going on. This is the reality. They're seeing this reality, but it's happening because the cartel's controlling it. The movement is all at the hands of the cartel. Over there.
You know, at this point, the inhumane thing for America to do would be to leave our borders and our rivers unsecured. Locking them down protects people, which is why it's so important to catch and deport
Civilian
anyone
structure
who comes across
complete.
this way, as getting sent back home thousands of miles away from the border after paying smugglers a hefty exorbitant fee is a major disincentive to trying to enter America without permission. But as you're about to see, as long as money remains in this, these criminals, these gang members, they're going to keep doing whatever they can to sneak into our country.
We're standing here in front of a pretty controversial barrier here, the buoy barrier.
Well, it helps us to control the tempo. It's like a terrain feature, right? It's a combined combined enforcement effect, where we're going to use these buoys to help control the tempo.
Mining upgrade complete. Civilian structure complete.
So the agent right here just called this buoy barrier a terrain feature. It's a natural obstacle that exists in a place where you can't have a wall, where folks were coming across in the past. And maybe when water's low, you could climb over something
Production
like this.
of the item is complete.
If water's up to your chest,
The Unity calls us to action.
You're not going to be
A
able to make it over, and
colonizable
it's
planet
tough
has been
coming across as
discovered.
well. But as you're about to see, barriers like this, although they may keep things
Military
from
structure
getting
complete.
at the border itself,
We shall
where
do
you
as you
happen to have
command.
something like a waterway that's easily crossable, their existence is forcing criminals to come up with
Civilian
new ways
structure
of getting through the
complete.
border, like commandeering existing U.S. U.S. infrastructure. But because of things like this water barrier,
Civilian structure complete.
Cannot be ferried across all at once. Oh no, this is drastically cutting
We await
out
your
the numbers
command.
of folks that enter the country without permission. And when you add to that
The
deportation,
unenlightened have seduced a minor faction to challenge our
with people
destiny.
getting sent back to their country of origin, you create the first disincentive America's had in years for illegal immigration.
Mining upgrade complete.
Well, there's a huge difference. The numbers have they've consistently dropped, right? I think around the December 23, January 24 timeframe, we saw a huge reduction in traffic as soon as we started applying the consequence and leveraging some partnerships, right? And then
We are
in the last
ready.
couple months or so, we've seen that number continue to drop.
So
Civilian structure complete. A colonizable planet has been discovered.
But the problem
Production
is,
of the
large
item
numbers of
is
people that were
complete.
Crossing in the past helped build a $13 billion a year industry run by gangs bringing people into the country illegally. And those individuals do not want there to be consequences for unlawful immigration
Civilian
at all.
structure
And before we get
complete.
to how these gangs are taking over drain pipes, you've got to understand that they've got allies inside America that are working to help them accomplish their goals. Like these judges who are trying to put a stop to the idea of deportation flights. They don't like the fact that these things are a disincentive for illegal immigration, which they want to keep going for some reason. Maybe they're confused. And if someone's caught entering the country around here and they're put on a plane and they're sent tens of thousands of miles away back to where they started, financially that shuts down all illegal immigration, because as people move through Central and South America, they've got to pay different criminal organizations all the way up until they get to the border. This takes all the money out of it. But sadly, there's still enough money in this business that these gangs have come up with a new, very risky way to bring people under the border.
Mexican cartels are using our own storm drains against us, smuggling illegal immigrants into the U.S. Take a look at part of the tunnel system. This is in El Paso, Texas. The whole storm drain system spans more than 300 miles, and they were designed to manage stormwater. But they're now being exploited by the cartels and putting migrants' lives in danger.
So this system that they've got now, accessing these tunnels,
fine
seeing people
purchase.
miles
No
underground, has always
refunds.
existed, but it's become a
He
lot
made
more
a fine
popular in the last
purchase.
6 to 8 months.
No
Since then, specialized Border Patrol
Production
teams have
of the
engaged
item
in a
is
battle of
complete.
sorts, stopping
I
these
will
smugglers
deliver
as
your
they
order
find ways to
personally.
something like
I will
massive
deliver your
money
order
and send people through
personally.
it, telling them that America is on the other side. Border
Your
Patrol's made great
business is
progress. Security putting
appreciated.
covers on some of the
Civilian
entry points, but that's
structure
not always an
complete.
option, because some of these things are absolutely
A
massive.
colonizable
And since they're to
planet
prevent
has been
flooding and
discovered.
water and debris
Our
passes,
fleet is
then they
trapped
can
after
clog it
arriving
and
at a
block
phase
them
jump
off, which is
inhibitor.
also why
We
entering one of
cannot
these
build
things is a
there.
terrible
Done
idea,
and
even for
dusted.
trained
Logistics upgrade complete.
Exited one of the storm
He
drains that was
made a
being
fine
inspected by Border
purchase.
Patrol agents. That's actually the
No
storm drain
refunds.
right there.
He
It's the
made
one
a
of
fine
300 miles here
purchase.
on the El Paso
No
border. And Nicole, there's a
refunds.
specialized Border Patrol unit that has to patrol
We
these storm
await
drains.
the
That's how
Unity's
dangerous
command.
This job is. It's a controlled space entry unit known as CSET.
Civilian structure complete.
These type of storm drains in these very tight spaces. It is very dangerous for agents because of the toxic gas and the flash.
We shall
floods
do as you
inside of those
command.
storm drains. And we were inside there right now, Nicole. It's extremely hot. You get claustrophobic. It's just very bad.
Production of the item is complete.
Border Patrol has to
Military structure
get
complete.
people out of this place if they find folks down there and they're stranded. Because if these tunnels flood, if water enters them, if
Military
they're doing
structure
their job, and there's
complete.
individuals down there and they're stuck, someone's gonna need to free them. Which proves that the smugglers doing this care nothing for their supposed clients. They're telling people to enter these places, they're telling them it's safe, they're telling them America's on the other side, but they are so dangerous. But look at the opportunity that presents to these gangs. Here's the opening of this place. There's a stairwell. It leads to the street inside America. But the fact that the criminals will not enter these things with their customers.
Logistics upgrade complete. Military structure complete.
Have been right there in these storm drains. They're saying that migrants usually get abandoned by smugglers. There is no service, there's no light, there's no food. These migrants don't have any type of equipment. When we're actually down there, Nicole, we have to wear air monitors because of the quality of the air gets so bad.
I
If those air monitors
understand.
go off, we have to leave those storm drains. But those
Production
migrants
of the
don't have
item is
those options.
complete.
And once again, just to highlight.
This is why
We
stop
have
illegal
cleansed the
immigration
planet of
is safe.
heathens.
Nobody should be walking around in these drain pipes.
Another
because
planet
it's
joins the
extremely
Unity.
treacherous and hazardous. You can't even call for help if something goes wrong. You're totally dark, off the grid. Yeah, look at this. Cartels and smugglers are offering this as sort of a VIP VIP package for people who want direct
We
access
obey
to
the
country.
Unity's
This report
will.
says some people have been charged as much as $15,000. As of June 2024, it was discovered that 1,000 people were coming through these tunnels every single month. But think about this for a second. You're gonna have to be in the best shape of your life to come through one of these drain pipes, which probably means very few women and children, if any, are coming through this way. It's all gonna be young, in shape men. A lot of them could be gang members or other very dangerous individuals.
What, you know, that's why they have to wear the air monitor. So you have all these elements and challenges. The worst part, Nicole, that agents were telling me is that if one of their agents required some type of
military structure complete.
There is
Logistics
no
upgrade
so
complete.
that agent will have to
Production of the item is
communicate that with their
complete.
team and go in there and rescue it. This team is so specialized in this storm drain
We seek
control
minds
that
to
if
make
there
our
is a migrant
own.
distress call,
Civilian structure
should not go in
complete.
there unless a member of that CSET team is there to go in there, and they at least require 3 members just for safety. But once again, Nicole, it's extremely dangerous. I mean, just like the confined spaces.
Whatever the Unity
so let's back up a
wills.
little bit here. Look at this place. If you twist your ankle in one of these things and you're 100 miles into this tunnel, you could be down there for a very long time. And Border Patrol agents, they've got physical fitness standards, but they can't even go in by themselves.
I will deliver your order personally.
Bold and salty. 3-man jobs. That's how tough this environment is. And we
A
just heard how these
colonizable
gang
planet
members
has been
abandon their
discovered.
customers, sending them into these places, promising them that there's
Done
someone
and
waiting for them on
dusted.
the other end. But
We
even though
seek
they might not
minds
have
to
the
make our
guts to go
own.
into one of these tunnels,
He made a
apparently,
fine
because the
purchase.
border's now being
No
locked down, when these gang
refunds.
members and criminals
He
do
made
encounter
a
our
fine
troops at the
purchase.
border, they get
No
confrontation.
refunds.
Production of the item is complete.
I will deliver your order personally.
Planet item ready. Vengeance is at hand. Greedy heathens pillage one of our worlds.
That is why we're seeing such a large presence down here. But that buoy barrier, the posture of the Mexican
Revenge
National Guard,
awaits.
and very high visibility posture on the U.S. side.
Submit to the Unity or be eradicated.
And a big reason for that is President Trump wants.
So what we're seeing here is what happens when you separate
We have cleansed the planet of
money.
heathens.
That's why this is
Another
going
planet
on.
joins
You've got
the
so-called
Unity.
immigrant advocate
The Unity
crowd.
calls us to action.
At the border saying,
At
it's
last.
overkill to send all these troops to the
Revenge
border. Oh, this
awaits.
is gonna frighten people. It's
We
wrong. It's so
obey the
inhumane.
Unity's
No,
will.
What's inhumane is what these smugglers and these gangs are putting people through. But because these smugglers are getting so much help from factions inside
Production
America,
of the
who don't like
item
the
is
idea of
complete.
keeping people safe and closing the border.
The
They're now
Unity
finding
senses that
willing
an enemy has
accomplices
finished a
on the US side
powerful
of the
warship.
border.
Desecrators assault our
This
world.
video approaching the border wall and trying to shove a duffel bag through that wall, which contained weapons. You just had a guy from Arizona get sentenced to 71 months for transporting hundreds of people through the country illegally. People found Snapchat
Planet
messages
item
posted
ready.
where he gloated about what he was doing. The individuals that people are unknowingly assisting,
Defense
they're not
upgrade complete.
nice guys. No, in
Our
fact, they're the
will
worst.
is transcendent.
Time to bid. Place am I.
We await the Unity's command.
Actions with their vessel, where they've driven their vessel.
We
into
seek
the
minds to make our own.
objects at us.
A cleansing fire. Submit to the Unity or be eradicated.
Recently, actually,
The Unity has fallen silent on one of our planets. We await your command.
The brightest at all. These are criminals, and what they're doing is wrong. And waterways
Speak
like
your
rivers
mind.
and infrastructure pieces like
Say
drain
no
pipes,
more.
those aren't the only ways these criminals are trying to come into the country. And these tattooed gang
Military structure complete.
and even though there have been drops in all forms of illegal crossings, water-based crossings seem to be holding because although it is much harder to enter the country this way, putting troops at the border and stocking it full of tanks and helicopters is doing
Production
a lot
of the
good.
item is
Completely
complete.
shutting down what was
Revenge
the main way
awaits.
people were coming in.
Another planet
ago,
joins
people
the
were making
Unity.
Billions of dollars. What do you think?
We shall do as you
Is
command.
there anything we can do
The
to get rid of
unenlightened
it?
have seduced
It is
a minor
correct to look at
faction to
this
challenge
as
our destiny.
Money play. If you take the money out of illegal
Let this be
immigration
a
by
lesson.
deporting people
Next
back to where
time,
they
pay
started,
up.
will this take away the power these criminal organizations have? Will they not be able to find people who want to risk their life savings to not
Desecrators
get into
assault our
America
world.
illegally? Will they even have any customers left if this is how we do things? Let me know. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.
Military structure complete.
Thank you to Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring this video.
The Trump administration is pulling the approval for congestion pricing, saying it is, quote,
Commerce upgrade complete.
Your business is appreciated.
Planet item ready.
We await the Unity's command.
Production of the item is complete.
Powering phase engines. The enemy will know our wrath. We obey the Unity's will. The Unity commands your destruction.
Civilian structure complete.
Think for the subway, just not in the way most people think.
Our will is transcendent.
Every day, going to work and school, mentally ill people terrorizing
Military structure complete.
in need of help.
We await your command.
File cases of psychosis turning into violence.
President Donald Trump tweeted, "Long
He
live
made
the king."
a fine purchase. No refunds. He made a fine purchase. No refunds. I will deliver your order personally. Bought and sorted. Done and dusted.
Mining upgrade complete.
We seek mines to make our own.
We await your command. Production of the item is complete.
Blew up a couple times in Brooklyn and Columbus Circle are not left to rot.
Revenge awaits.
Riding the subways of New York City, and we had urged the governor to, instead of tolling people to try to force them onto the transit system, to instead make this
Planet item ready.
system safe.
We seek mines to make our own.
Exotics have been unveiled by our scryers.
We shall do as you command.
Civilian structure complete. Military structure complete.
So New York's hated driving taxes will soon be a thing of the past, marking another promise kept by President Trump. And although this will deprive New York of money that was supposed to fix the subway, nobody running this place wants to
Military structure complete.
any such thing, which anyone with half a brain
Logistics
could probably
upgrade
figure out
complete.
just by using it, as the subway in its current form already costs over $20 billion a year to operate, while it doubles as the site of an ongoing humanitarian homelessness crisis where many neglected New Yorkers live on a full-time basis. Because for some reason our leaders can't figure out how to use the billions they already did to fix this place while giving people somewhere else to stay.
Powering phase engines.
We are ready. Military structure complete. Whatever the Unity wills. Production of the item is complete.
We await the Unity's command.
A colonizable planet has been discovered. Our fleet is trapped after arriving at a phase jump inhibitor. Civilian structure complete.
We offer the absolution of death. The Unity calls us to action.
Military structure complete. Our forces have engaged the enemy. Planet item ready.
We await the Unity's command.
The unenlightened have seduced a minor faction to challenge our destiny. Civilian structure complete. Logistics upgrade complete.
We seek minds to make our own. You will find enlightenment in death.
Civilian structure complete.
Infrastructure down here is hundreds of years old. The budget to run this place is $6 billion.
They will join us or die.
Civilian structure complete. Military structure complete.
Every year they demand more of our money. And as you're about to see while President Trump
Another planet joins the Unity.
today is the result of promises that were made.
We obey the Unity's will.
Production of the item is complete.
This right here is pretty alarming, and it could be a security risk. You've got what looks like a whole bunch of equipment back here.
Greedy heathens pillage one of our worlds.
It is just
We await the Unity's command.
The entire subway system is running.
We shall do as you command.
We are ready.
We seek minds to make our own.
People are stealing subway trains and taking them on joyrides. It's because this entire place is the combination of decades of promises that were made and never kept. After the people of New York,
I will deliver your order personally. I will deliver your order personally. He's made a fine purchase. No refunds. He's made a fine purchase. No refunds. Your business is appreciated.
Civilian structure complete.
How damaging this program is to our city's economy.
Production of the item is complete. Military structure complete. Logistics upgrade complete. Our forces have engaged the enemy. Civilian structure complete. We cannot build there.
Let the bidding commence.
Civilian structure complete.
Promised time and time again, but have yet to see down here. Yet none of this
Planet
money was
item
going to
ready.
keeping riders safe. And when you look at the improvements we've already got,
Revenge
that
awaits.
don't seem to work. It's hard to see how giving
We
this place
obey the
more
Unity's
would accomplish
will.
anything. And although somehow the money we spend on fixing the subway
Military
never seems to
structure
go down
complete.
here, this time things were supposed
Civilian
to be
structure
different.
complete.
80% of the money from these billion-dollar
He's
cameras
made
was
a
supposed to
fine
make its way
purchase.
into the subway and change
No
our
refunds.
lives. And, you
He's
know,
made
80%
a
is
fine
way better than
purchase.
10%
No
that makes it down here
refunds.
today. But it gets even
Done and
better because
dusted.
according to the MTA,
Civilian structure complete.
No bid. You missed out.
Logistics upgrade complete. Production of the item is complete.
Bought and sorted.
Powering phase
The
engines.
MTA's webpage has been promising these since way back in 2009 when they first started installing them. We've been promised signal improvements and accessibility
A
improvements.
colonizable planet has been discovered.
And the city has so little respect for its
Our
residents
will
that it's not
is
even
transcendent.
trying to keep it a secret.
People know that the system is old, but I don't think they realize just how old
Military
it is.
structure complete.
Old architecture in the stations, and they think it's just historic. What
We shall do as you command.
is that in our system, it's not just the architecture that's 100 years old. It's a lot of the basic technology as well. The infrastructure.
So this promo was filmed back in 2000.
Military structure complete. Civilian structure complete.
Shake us down for more money for a long
The unenlightened have seduced a minor faction to challenge our destiny.
We shall do as you command.
Our forces have engaged the enemy.
Powering phase engines.
Civilian structure complete. Our fleet is trapped after arriving at a phase jump inhibitor. At last, vengeance is at hand. Defense upgrade complete.
Submit to the Unity or be eradicated. A cleansing fire.
He's made a fine purchase. No refunds. He's made a fine purchase. No refunds. I will deliver your order personally.
This shall be a reckoning. Production of the item is complete. Military structure complete.
Unbelievable. There's
Our forces have engaged the enemy. Military structure complete. Another planet joins the Unity.
And what's crazy is while our leaders keep complaining about how old this is and how it needs new signals,
Military structure complete.
money on stuff like this LCD panel right here to tell us how late the trains are. It's almost like we've got this existential problem, which is how terrible the service is, and our leaders always promise to
We
fix
seek
it, and then
minds
use
to
the money
make
we're
our
supposed to
own.
fix it on other
The
things.
Unity calls us to action.
Military structure complete. Defense upgrade complete. Civilian structure complete.
We obey the Unity's will.
He doesn't get his life together to fix anything. And the next time you see him, he comes back and he says, "Hey man, you got an extra couple bucks? I could really use it. It's the last time, I promise."
We shall do as you command.
Is that our friend the subway is continuing to spiral
He's made a
downwards
fine
out of control
purchase.
because they're losing
No
more money every
refunds.
single year on
He's
the
made
one
a
thing that is
fine
supposed to
purchase.
keep this price down,
No
which would
refunds.
be fair evasion.
Civilian
It
structure
costs them
complete.
$800 million a year,
Civilian
just
structure
$200 million
complete.
less than the $1 billion
Military structure
concession
complete.
pricing plan that the
Our
president
fleet
just
is
canceled.
trapped after arriving at a phase jump inhibitor. A colonizable planet has been discovered.
Powering phase engines.
Ready the cannons. We raid.
Planet item ready. Our fleet is trapped after arriving at a phase jump inhibitor.
Ready the cannons. We raid.
Defense upgrade complete. Greedy heathens pillage one of our worlds.
Who doesn't just
Civilian structure complete.
over the last few months, they've seen record judgments like a 12
Civilian structure complete. Whatever the Unity wills. Desecrators assault our world.
Let the bidding commence.
You may speak. Production of the item is complete. We'll consider it.
Avast! What be your bidding?
Our will is transcendent.
Did someone say booty? What'll it be, me bucko? A vessel to be plundered. All hands on deck. A vessel to be plundered. Avast! What be your bidding?
The Unity has fallen silent on one of our planets.
Revenge awaits.
He made a fine purchase. No refunds. He made a fine purchase. No refunds.
Defense upgrade complete.
No bid. You missed out.
Another planet joins the Unity. Another planet joins the Unity.
Is that its problems are glaringly obvious, and the solutions to those problems, as you're about to see, are also glaringly obvious. But in order to understand why they will never be implemented,
Military structure complete.
Running this place never have to do anything. They can just keep asking for more money
Civilian
and they get it
structure
every single
complete.
time, which is why
We seek minds to make our own. Revenge awaits.
Civilian structure complete.
We shall do as you command.
In the span of about 10 minutes, with our big clunky cameras looking on, one person after the next jumped or crawled underneath the arm of the turnstile. They were
Military structure complete.
This is the first way that you start fixing the subways. You get the people who ride it to pay for it. And we've actually got a way to do that right here. But because it works, we won't use it. And that would be these
Commerce upgrade complete. Civilian structure complete.
Fix your fare evasion problems immediately. But not only are our leaders
We are
uninterested
ready.
in doing what we already know works, we've got other problems. Like, you see this gap right here? Look at this. This fits a human.
Military
hand.
structure
Reach
complete.
through this.
Revenge awaits.
Right here to get in
Planet
for free
item
without
ready.
paying. We're having a
We
strange
obey
run
the
up and down.
Unity's
And once you
will.
realize that the last
Production
thing
of the
you need
item is complete.
fares from people who
Civilian
ride the
structure
subway, every
complete.
other problem this place has will start to make sense as well, especially the crime problem we've got going on down here, which one study says are overwhelmingly connected to people not paying to use the train. What a surprise. Who would have ever imagined that the criminal underworld, if
We
you let it
are
commit
ready.
minor crime, will then go on
Blood
to
accord.
commit more serious
Revenge
crimes. Here we
awaits.
are trying to convince
I
people
will
that the
deliver
subway
your
is
order
always a good
personally.
investment and that it should
I
be
will deliver
respected
your
and that
order
it's necessary
personally.
that our leaders
He
don't
made
treat
a
it that way
fine
at all. They don't
purchase.
think it's a good investment. They
No
don't even care if it works
refunds.
properly, which is
He
explained
made
by
a
the
fine
nonstop delays and the
purchase.
fact that we've never
No
gotten the new signals we
refunds.
keep being
He
told
made
are
a
just
fine
around the corner.
purchase.
And since our city has
No
intention of
refunds.
passing laws that would
Mining
restrain
upgrade complete.
invaders, people are
Our
just gonna
forces
keep
have
coming down here and
engaged the
using
enemy.
trains for free, revealing that the money needed to run this place is never going to come from the customer base. Something that would tank any privately run business.
Our will is transcendent. Greedy heathens pillage one of our worlds.
Submit to the Unity or be eradicated.
Military structure complete.
It's full.
The Unity calls us to action. We offer the absolution of death, a cleansing fire.
Military structure complete.
Getting the subway to run properly isn't on anyone's agenda. Neither is locking up the folks who are ruining it for everybody.
Civilian structure complete.
They add about 4 to 6 inches of height to the turnstile.
Production of the item is complete.
We seek minds to make our own.
So this is embarrassing. Here we are wondering why our subway system has a crime problem and wondering why it has a money problem.
You will find enlightenment in death, a cleansing fire.
These issues, we're spending
Logistics upgrade complete.
Just look at these spikes right here. These things were expensive to install, and they're part of a pilot program that should help our city figure out if they're...
We shall do as you command.
Yet not only
Civilian structure complete.
Shields down!
We await your command. Military structure complete.
Unleash our wrath.
Revenge awaits.
Our armor is breached. Unleash our wrath.
Military structure complete.
At last. Our voices speak as one.
Revenge awaits. Submit to the Unity or be eradicated.
An auction is underway.
We have cleansed the planet of heathens. Another planet joins the Unity. Civilian structure complete.
I will deliver your order personally. I will deliver your order personally.
He made a fine purchase. No refunds. He made a fine purchase. No refunds. He made a fine purchase. No refunds.
We await the Unity's command.
Production of the item is complete. The unenlightened have seduced a minor faction to challenge our destiny. We cannot build there.
You failed to place a bid.
Civilian structure complete.
We seek minds to make our own.
Control group created. Military structure complete.
We shall do as you command.
Civilian structure complete. Our fleet is trapped after arriving at a phase jump inhibitor. Military structure complete.
Only for taxis, that's off limits. And look at this. You've got 3 lanes. Here's some old Google Maps.
We await your command.
4 lanes here instead of 3. And if you make your roads 25% smaller, of course, traffic is going to go way up. That's the problem.
Revenge awaits.
Military structure complete.
At last, this shall be a reckoning.
Defilers encroach upon us.
Is it time?
Which just involved raising taxes on
our time has come.
Problems that were deliberately created.
Production of the item is complete.
This is our darkest hour.
Planet item ready.
What do you think about that? Are the problems New York City's gotten its subway logical and preventable? Could you
mining upgrade complete.
People who use the subway and sending people to jail, or are they a mystery? Is there something I'm missing here?
Our time has come.
See you in the next
We
video.
seek minds to make our own.
Our will is transcendent. Another planet joins the Unity. Our forces have engaged the enemy. The fleet embraces new vessels. The unenlightened have seduced a minor faction to challenge our destiny. The fleet embraces new vessels. The fleet embraces new vessels.
You know, that makes it sound like there's something.
Defilers encroach upon us.
I will deliver your order personally. I will deliver your order personally.
He made a fine purchase. No refunds. Bought and sorted. Your business is appreciated.
The Unity senses that an enemy has finished a powerful warship. We are ready.
We await the Unity's command.
Civilian structure complete.
1,000 additional NYPD officers are now riding the trains.
Logistics upgrade complete.
Pushed over the train for no apparent reason. It's nice to hear that the arrests are
We await the Unity's command. We shall do as you command.
General atmosphere of fear and disorder, and that leads to people being afraid to be on the train.
But the mayor pushing back on the idea that crime is rampant in this city and expressing concerns that social media is stoking fears.
We cannot build there.
Crime is now so bad that even New York City's progressive politicians are starting to take notice.
Civilian structure complete.
All this crime-related
An
dialogue
auction is underway.
We await your command. Civilian structure complete. Production of the item is complete.
But the problem is, he's starting to notice that
We seek minds to make our own. Powering phase engines.
The fleet embraces new vessels.
Physically chained to the store that it's in.
Whatever the Unity wills. Civilian structure complete. We await your command. Civilian structure complete.
When they do anything wrong. But city officials say that crime is actually down. And although a perception of crime exists in the minds
You
of many
failed to place a bid.
Revenge awaits. The enemy will know our wrath.
Hosted by attractive people who were legitimately attacked and spoke up in the most powerful way they could have. And now we're in a situation where people's perceptions don't line up with what they're being told. And this has people asking questions like, will
Civilian structure complete. Our will is transcendent.
Is the city just as safe and manageable as it's ever been? Because it can't in fact be both of those things at the exact same time, which is why
Our forces have engaged the enemy. We await your command. We are ready. We are ready. We are ready. We await your command.
That sucks.
Overall crime is down, both here on the streets and in the
We
subways.
are
However,
ready.
there is a spike in assaults and robberies in the first
We
quarter of
are
this year.
ready. We are ready. Whatever the Unity wills. Production of the item is complete.
In America, what a record. In New York City, it is
Military structure complete. Whatever the Unity wills. We are ready. Whatever the Unity wills.
themselves as they walk down the street while avoiding situations that might be
The Unity calls us to action.
Military structure complete. The fleet embraces new vessels.
While at the same time, there seems to be
We shall do as you command.
to social media that tell a different story. And because of that, city officials say
Military structure complete.
perception, and they're doing their best to reassure the public that the crime stats tell the whole story.
But the mayor acknowledged the reality of these numbers may not match the perception of many.
We are ready.
Crime down to zero. But if
Military structure complete. Defilers encroach upon us.
then you're going to say that, hey, we're not safe. And so what we are
So the mayor says we're in the middle of a battle, but it's a battle for your mind.
Production of the item is
A
complete.
rational basis for those thoughts. Now, in the mayor's defense, crime today is
We
not
await
what it
the
was
Unity's
when he
command.
was a police officer on
The
the
Unity
streets.
calls us to
These
action.
practices were ahead of those from the Stone Age. They were not exactly living in the
Our
heights of
forces
the
have
Roman Empire,
engaged
which
the
preceded
enemy.
them. And that's got people saying that even though crime is technically better than where it used to be, it's still not where it was just a few years prior to where we are today. And apparently in the 1990s, when
Military
crime
structure
was worse than it is
complete.
Today, your average Joe on the street
Whenever
perceives
you
the city to be
wish.
safer than people perceive it to be today. Now that could mean one of two things. Either it means that the generation preceding mine, which is scared to death right now, was a stronger, much more vibrant
I will
generation
deliver
with
your
soul
order
and
personally.
who understood
I will
true
deliver
pain,
your order
stories that without
personally.
the ability to
You've
rapidly
made a
disseminate
fine
information
purchase.
across the internet that everybody can get in
No
their pocket, pretty much
refunds.
immediately
You've
people's
made
stories
a fine
start to
purchase.
And that brings up a big question.
No
What's more dangerous,
refunds.
information about
We
crime
await
or
the
actual
Unity's
crime that's
command.
being committed that affects
Powering
real
phase
people?
engines.
Revise the whole sensationalization argument
Military
about
structure
crime
complete.
and TikTok-style videos. For example, if somebody
Production of the item is complete.
that's going to affect how they feel when they walk down the street, just as it's going to affect
A
people's
cleansing
thoughts.
fire.
Same information
Submit to the Unity or be eradicated.
Pretty high on the list, which means negative information will likely be more persuasive to people than positive information. And if it is in fact simple human nature to be
Our forces have engaged the enemy.
Personally affects you, then to be overjoyed and positive information that also affects you.
Your business is appreciated.
Borden sorted.
Even though the city is technically safer today than it was in the past, some people think the official statistics do not.
We obey the Unity's will.
Civilian structure complete. The fleet embraces new vessels.
The Unity calls us to action.
An auction is underway.
Very serious issue.
We seek minds to make our own. We obey the Unity's will.
2023 says that 79% of New Yorkers feel unsafe riding the subway at night.
Production of the item is complete.
Can we please stop saying we're up in crime in our subway system? We are not. We're down.
Revenge awaits. The Unity calls us to action.
I will deliver your order personally.
He's right. It is down. But whatever goes up must come down. So was it higher at any point?
Revenge awaits.
You failed to place a bid.
Our voices speak as one.
We await the Unity's command.
National Guard was rolled out to help the police in the New York City subway system, which could mean we're all looking at the same statistics, just interpreting them differently. Either way, the survey mentioned earlier says crime is up 54%.
The unenlightened have seduced a minor faction to challenge our destiny.
Felt unsafe
Revenge
during the
awaits.
daytime, which is more than double the 19%.
We shall do as you command.
Back in 2017. But even though
The
crime
Unity
is down,
senses that an enemy has finished a powerful warship.
And police all over the subway, there is dispute over whether or not this has actually brought
The
crime
fleet
down, or
embraces
just kind of
new
relays
vessels.
the crime that we were already going to have.
He made a fine purchase. No refunds.
I will deliver your order personally.
He made a fine purchase. No refunds. He made a fine purchase. No refunds.
Your business is appreciated.
Although the city is right to point out that things might be less dangerous, trading one type of felony for another type of felony may not be an actual
Defilers
indication that
encroach
New Yorkers
upon
are
us.
better off. Also,
We
when the
await
Times
your command.
reported change,
We
the
seek
official
minds to
statistics
make our
change along with
own.
them. And some people say
The
that when
Unity calls us to
statistics
action.
look different because some crimes fall through cracks. And they say that's why
I will deliver your order personally.
another thing.
The Unity senses that an enemy has finished a powerful warship.
Powering phase engines.
Felony assaults did see a 3.8% spike this quarter. According to a new report, there was a historic surge in assaults last year, which neared 28,000.
So here we are with statistics telling us that although assaults are up, homicides, which are worse than assaults, are down. But if crime is down cumulatively in multiple dangerous categories, does that mean overall crime is down? Critics say it does not, and there's actually a way to demonstrate this by looking specifically
Production
at
of the item is
crime known as
complete.
felony assaults.
We obey the Unity's will.
Attacking someone without legal justification with a weapon. But if someone attacks you and they're not using a weapon, like let's say they use their hand, it's no longer felony assault, but it's still an assault. And you might be wondering, where does this new type of assault get recorded if it's not recorded as a felony assault? Well, here's where things get interesting, because according to Bloomberg, these
Powering
assaults are the
phase
ones falling through the
engines.
cracks that not everybody knows about. In fact, they say that the TikTok crime wave we are witnessing is real, and there's support for it. According to Bloomberg, the New York City Police Department doesn't even record anything called aggravated assault in its crime reports, instead dividing assaults into felonies and misdemeanors.
Our
and
forces have engaged the enemy.
sifting out aggravated assaults, of which there appear to be a little fewer than 1.6 per felony assault, to report them to the FBI. And the claim basically is that assaults may go up, but we will never know it because they aren't accurately recorded. On top of that, there's other evidence to suggest that both felony and non-felony assaults are way up.
We shall do as you command.
Production of the item is complete. The fleet embraces new vessels.
The Unity commands your destruction. We obey the Unity's will.
Okay, so now we
Powering phase engines.
Sympathizers are quick to say that, you know what, these are isolated incidents, just a few videos that went viral, no big deal, it's sensationalism. And as we just read, these videos are part of a larger story of things that are happening negatively.
Our forces have engaged the enemy.
Posted about it. And what's crazy is without TikTok, the punching bag of social media, most
You will find enlightenment in death.
known that this happened, and that's because not all assaults get reported to police. And it's definitely faster to make a video about
is
something right
underway.
after it happens as you're walking down the street than it might be to locate a New York City Police Department, travel there, and fill out paperwork. On top of that, most assaults that occur without the use of a weapon are not reported to police at all. We're talking only 42%, and given the lack of personal transportation options that many people who don't have an e-bike or a car are stuck with, that number could be situation exists where the types of crime that get reported are those that are hardest to hide and cover up. Like, let's take the incidents of someone discharging a firearm. The city uses sonic gun detectors to pinpoint and triangulate where that may have happened. There's a lot at stake when one of those goes off. And
You
it's very hard to cover
failed
up
to
something like
place
that
a
and not
bid.
report it, especially if the general public is aware that it happened. And it's
The
same
Unity
thing for
calls us to
crimes that may
action.
Cost people to lose their ultimate possession. If
The
something
fleet
tragic like that
embraces
occurs,
new
it's very
vessels.
hard to cover that up as well.
We
Maybe
obey the Unity's will.
Maybe our leaders are not misled, but the problem is that when something bad happens to someone, to then hear that it's not real, or that it's all in their head, or that this kind of thing is so rare, it's not a big deal, that's insult to injury to someone who's just been victimized. And it could be making
The unenlightened have seduced a minor faction to challenge our destiny.
I will deliver your order personally. I will deliver your order personally.
He's made a fine purchase. No refunds. He's made a fine purchase. No refunds.
Powering phase engines.
There's another problem here in New York City that's causing people's perceptions of danger to increase.
A colonizable planet has been discovered. The fleet embraces new vessels.
Something like that would scare
We shall do
people.
as you command.
The scary thing about this is it means that not only are assaults
A cleansing fire.
committed them and who
We'll
are still
consider
operating
it.
among us is also up. In fact, we now have an epidemic of repeat crime. These are crimes that are committed by one person a second time or a
Beg
third
for
time,
our forgiveness.
never been punished for it, which essentially means that the number of criminals in New York hasn't necessarily increased, but the amount of crimes they're able to commit has drastically gone up. In fact, there's really no ceiling for it because at what point are we going to put them in jail? Never. And it is the
Our
intentional
forces have
violence of law
engaged the
enforcement in
enemy.
New York that has people worried. And the question this has a lot of people asking now is how do they take their own personal safety seriously if the city isn't taking their own personal safety seriously? And what's it going to take to put someone behind bars who's out there hurting people?
He is what the police call a recidivist, and I've had conversations not just about this space.
Another planet joins the Unity.
And it's one of the largest concerns right now in the NYPD. They are arresting the same people for the same crimes.
You know, most people find it very hard to believe that city leaders can take issue with people's perceptions of crime when stuff like this is allowed to go on. And what nobody's talking about is that this is evidence. Evidence that punishing
The
violent criminals
unenlightened have seduced a minor faction to challenge our destiny. Greedy heathens pillage one of our worlds. We are ready. The Unity senses that an enemy has finished a powerful warship.
Revenge awaits.
The crime we're dealing with. Sadly, just as the campaign to reform New York City's bail laws and bring them to their current state took many
Civilian
years,
structure
it's probably the
complete.
case that rolling those
We
back
await
could
the
take
Unity's
even
command.
a longer period of time, and many of the arguments for
We
keeping
obey
bail
the
reform
Unity's
something
will.
like this. The fact that we have crime in New York City is not the fault of bail reform. No, the fact
The
that we
fleet
have
embraces
increasing
new
crime is
vessels.
because of other problems
The
in society
Unity
that
calls
have
us to
nothing do with the criminals
action.
themselves, and the only way to fix it isn't to get rid of bail reform, it's to
Civilian
get
structure
more
complete.
and more of it. There would be even less penalization, less prosecution.
Planet item ready.
Society and make the world a greener,
Powering
better place.
phase engines.
Argument, would that make New York City safer? What do you think the city should do to crack down on crime? Let me know. I'll see you in the next video.
Civilian structure complete. The fleet embraces new vessels. Civilian structure complete.
Hope and
We shall do as you command.
Let the bidding commence.
The enemy will know our wrath.
Desecrators assault our world. Our forces have engaged the enemy.
You will find enlightenment in death.
Our will is transcendent.
Submit to the unity or be eradicated. A cleansing fire.
Civilian structure complete.
Critics say the criminals will come back with a vengeance.
The unity calls us to action.
Testing a controversial weapons detection system.
It's not going to work. They putting it here because this is the main train station, but there's one around the corner.
New details on a story we've been following. Police have charged Randall Contreras, according to the
Acknowledged. No bid. You missed out. I will deliver your order personally. I will deliver your order personally.
You've made a fine purchase. And no refunds.
A colonizable planet has been discovered.
For months now, New York City and the state have been working alongside law enforcement to try and keep the...
You will find enlightenment in death.
Marsha Kramer walked through and set off the alarm. Her iPad mistaken for a weapon, which is why officers...
Military structure complete.
So they can search
we obey the unity's will.
Production of the item is complete.
We shall do as you command.
Bought and sorted. Bought and sorted.
Your business is appreciated.
Military structure complete.
Down there, underground, at the exact same time. Because alarming as New York City's subway crime
The
wave
fleet embraces new vessels.
predicted that it wouldn't be long
The
before
unity
crooks
calls
down
us
there
to
would build
action.
The military and extra police and then go commit crime somewhere else. Which is exactly
A colonizable planet has been discovered.
Officer surge that's been taking place in the subway for months, checking bags and arresting fare beaters, it's worked. But while it's been working, multiple crime waves have sprouted up on the street, like increased shoplifting at our
The
stores and
unenlightened
businesses.
have seduced a minor faction to challenge our destiny.
Bagels in Soho,
Powering
plus
phase
from
engines.
thieves who work the night shift. But with residents upset that they can no longer safely walk down our streets, the city's got to do something, as long as it doesn't involve hiring more police, which the mayor is in favor of, or locking up our criminals, which the city council is not in favor of, because then
We
might
obey
spend their
the
birthdays
unity's
in
will.
jail. And that brings us to the real reason we now have AI-enabled weapon detectors being randomly tested throughout the subway system. Because if they work, the subway will finally become a progressive paradise where the bad guys steer clear of the law-abiding of their
Production
own
of the
law.
item
They
is
just
complete.
walk around the detectors because they're not gonna
Powering
be
phase
everywhere.
engines.
But that's not the only problem. Local activists now want to sue the city, saying these scanners will violate people's constitutional rights. Plus, the technology is not 100% perfect, which critics say could lead to false alarms that put commuters and law enforcement in danger. But either way, the city is between a rock and a hard place because crime is everywhere, the police aren't, which means these controversial weapon detectors, even if they don't work, they still might be here to stay.
Our forces have engaged the enemy.
Submit to the unity or be eradicated.
So here we are at the
I will deliver your order personally. I will deliver your order personally.
You've made a fine purchase. And no refunds. You've made a fine purchase. And no refunds.
Greedy heathens pillage one of our worlds.
We offer the absolution of death.
Well, they thought the machines were doing were rather mixed.
This is a 30-day pilot program, a test.
Bought and sorted.
Not everyone is thrilled about this.
Your business is appreciated.
Production of the item is complete.
Right, so it looks like the people that have
Time to bid. Place them high.
exactly sure they're going to make us safer. Granted, there are some people who think they're going to make a massive difference. I am one of those people. I hope they work. And even
You
though
will
only
find
time will tell if these
enlightenment in
machines are
death.
gonna earn the trust of New Yorkers, there are some serious shortcomings with them, which is why when some people see them in action, they just scoff at them. So the way that these AI-powered body scanners work is they look at your bag, and wherever it thinks that there's a threat, it pinpoints, and then the police will search that part of the bag only to see what the machine found. These things are not exactly new. They're at Disney World, they're at football stadiums, but
The fleet embraces new vessels.
But what's interesting is they specifically chose the station we're standing in to test these things out. Likely to prove a point not only about security, but to also help them.
We shall do as you command.
Security
Let this be a lesson. Next time, pay up.
Station where everybody gets off going to Wall Street, but there's one around the corner.
Still in one of the busiest transit hubs in the system, the mayor says this is the perfect spot to scan for knives and guns.
At the beginning of my administration.
So right away, one
Done
computer
and
points out
dusted.
that if you don't want to walk through the scanners, you're not going to have to. You can just go around. Which is the problem with all subway security.
I will deliver your order personally.
Those aren't going to work for you
Bought and
when you're running
sorted.
yourself. Well, then you can just find another
Revenge
station that doesn't
awaits.
have these. But there's a reason they chose this station to do the unveiling. First of all, it's fairly modern, and that's because this is a billion-dollar facility that was built 10
Powering
years ago. In the
phase
basement of the
engines.
center, it's got a whole bunch of subway lines that connect you virtually anywhere in town, but there was a major issue with this place at the beginning of the year. Crime here was so bad, and the city was so unable to curtail the issues that businesses were having here, like theft, that the mall tenant Westfield, they broke their lease after most of the stores here ended up shutting down because they just could not survive. And now the city's in court with them,
Production
trying to
of the
sue them
item
to
is
stay for the
complete.
next 10 years like they're supposed to. And look at the problems they were having here. Thieves were stealing from the cash registers of many of these little shops.
Our anima stand ready.
Weapon detectors
A
were
wise
being
choice.
sold at high-profile
We
stations
seek
like this
minds
one.
to make
The
our
city is saying
own.
that, hey, look, we have cleaned
The
this place
unity
up,
calls us to
but the fact
action.
that some of the crime being committed here doesn't involve a weapon brings up another issue. How are they going to stop people from using their hands to do things that are wrong? And when these things think they've found a weapon in a backpack, how accurate are they?
I walked through with no
Powering phase engines.
and set off the alarm. Her iPad mistaken for a weapon, which is why officers require people to take off bags so they can search them separately.
This is
Okay, so two
You've
things are obvious
made a
right away.
fine
One, the machines
purchase.
have some serious tweaks that
No
have to get worked out.
refunds.
Also,
I will deliver your order personally.
at one station,
You've made
the
a
city
fine
government
purchase.
the
No
the way these
refunds.
scanners are supposed to work
Bought
is that
and
they are
sorted.
equipped with profiles of various objects that they are looking for, and when they find one of those things, they go off. When they don't find one of those things, they do not go off. But no technology is perfect, and one of the things people are worried about is what happens if it goes off. and
Glory
freaks
to the
everyone out,
Unity!
escalates things with a law enforcement officer.
Another planet joins the Unity.
Nobody wants to see this.
We obey the Unity's will.
The Unity senses that an enemy has finished a powerful warship.
We don't want
Our
that.
forces have engaged the enemy.
To ride this thing. But there's another problem with these scanners that look inside your personal belongings without opening them, and it's got people much more alarmed than the idea of a false positive or a few wasted minutes on your way to work.
But the Legal Aid Society and the New York Civil Liberties Union are threatening to sue, writing, subjecting New Yorkers to suspicionless
We
searches
are
by
ready.
police every time they need to ride the subway is a violation of their Fourth Amendment.
So the real issue here that has
Revenge awaits.
devices, they could
We obey the Unity's will.
Civilian structure complete.
We'll have to find out. They're suing to try and stop them, even though they were only set up at one.
Production of the item is
What's interesting
complete.
about this is the same activists. They were pretty upset that the NYPD started doing bag checks, yet those very same bag checks have worked. And maybe folks who aren't in favor of random searches have just decided that, hey, this is a
Defilers encroach upon us.
and it is getting
Civilian
weapons off the
structure
street. Will
complete.
they be convinced if the weapon detectors are rolled out and they start working?
I will
No one
deliver
knows
your
yet.
order
But there's actually
personally.
another reason the city needs these weapon detectors, and the hope is that if these things
The
work,
Unity
they
calls us to action.
start riding the subway again, because right now riders don't think that the people running the subway
Planet
have their
item
security or
ready.
their best interest in mind, and these expensive devices might just help that to start happening, because if people
Whatever the Unity
they're not going
wills.
to use it.
Civilian structure complete. Greedy heathens pillage one of our worlds.
Right over here we have the entrance to another subway station, and yes, crime is a big reason why people don't want to use the subway. But
A colonizable planet has been discovered. We are ready.
Which has some people suggesting the real criminals are those in the agency that
Our
runs
forces
the
have
subway.
engaged the enemy.
They were stuck down on
Our will is transcendent.
Let the bidding commence.
Now, MTA Chair and CEO Janno Lieber said
We seek minds to make our own.
transformer failure. In other words, aging infrastructure that could have
Whatever the Unity wills.
Delays that were caused
We await the Unity's command.
malfunction happening down here in our aging subway, which, by the way, cost $20 billion a year to run and looks as inviting as a haunted house. Now, the delay in question happened when a transformer broke down, shutting off power to several stations in the subway, stranding people throughout the system when temperatures were 90 degrees. But it's not the temperature down here that's the problem. We haven't had AC in the subway ever. The real problem is that the system is not
fleet embraces new vessels. Military structure complete.
We obey the Unity's will.
No bid. You missed out.
Which is probably full of symbolism and unappreciated by everybody who walks by. But when you see stuff like this, you'll wonder where the billions of dollars that are supposed to go towards repairs
Defilers encroach upon us.
Takes place when you underinvest in a essential infrastructure system that is 100
Military structure complete.
We seek mines to make our own.
Production of the item is complete. Military structure complete.
Old lights and this old sign and this chip and paint right here. You don't keep investing in something that's a bad investment, do you? In what world do investors pour money into something, get zero results, and then keep doing it? That's just not how investments work. On top of that, the trains themselves are delayed 15 to 20% of the time, depending on which line it is that you're riding on. And when the subway's purpose is to get people from A to B and it doesn't do that, how do you warrant further investment? Or at least how do you convince the general public that more money is what this place needs when it's already got so much?
Although temperatures near triple digits, Lieber said the scorching...
A colonizable planet has been discovered.
A 60-year-old transformer failed. That is a major piece of equipment that is 30 years past its useful life.
Lieber made the scathing remarks that...
Okay, so one way of looking at this recent cascade of failures that shut down the entire system is
We
to say,
await
yes,
the Unity's command.
so old that it cannot
We shall do as you command.
Here we have a piece of equipment that was 30 years
I will deliver your order personally. I will deliver your order personally.
He's made a fine purchase. No refunds.
Production of the item is complete.
Bought and sorted.
Powering phase engines. We seek mines to make our own. We await the Unity's command.
The entire system is such a big deal that it warrants a press conference.
The fleet embraces new
It was
vessels.
never fixed when it was supposed to be fixed. And many people aren't buying the excuse
Our
that the
forces
money
have
was never
engaged
there
the
over
enemy.
last 30 years to
We
fix this
offer
thing,
the
because after
absolution
Roku
of
shut
death.
down service everywhere, they magically found the money to fix it.
It's at the tipping point. We have to replace this stuff.
He was a major proponent of congestion pricing, which would have generated $15 billion in revenue for the MTA.
Whose job was it to fix
The
this?
unenlightened have seduced a minor faction to challenge our
Came
destiny.
into their position and was supposed to do their job and didn't do it. Do you see? We've got a lot of failure going on.
We shall
here.
do
That's
as you
not just the one
command.
thing, and it's not because of congestion pricing taxes of all things. Yes, those would have brought in millions of dollars to the subway. Yes, they were banking on running their operation the way they've been running it for the last 30 years, ignoring equipment failures and just getting a whole bunch of new money. But where is this money going? I looked into that, and according to this Reddit discussion, where anonymous posters give their 2 cents, 58% of the budget for the subway is spent on employee salaries. That's over half the money that they get goes to paying people that might not be doing their jobs. Debt is also a major issue because
We
every time
obey
the subway
the
wants to make some
Unity's
sort of capital
will.
improvement, they don't
Production
have
of the
so
item
they
is
go on to
complete.
go into debt to make their repairs, or to build these fancy new ad-supported projectors telling us about the Olympics. When the old ad spammers looked like this and just showed us a poster, what's wrong with this? Nobody's even looking at this stuff. And it looks like the things that are dragging the subway down are its past failures combined with its current failures and its
I will deliver your order personally. Your business is appreciated.
He's made a fine purchase. No refunds. He's made a fine purchase. No refunds. He's made a fine purchase. No refunds. He's made a fine purchase. No refunds.
For the MetroCard system, which doesn't work correctly, yes, we know that. But prior to that, we had a token-based system, and there were never tokens lying on the ground that people would leave because those were actual money that would
Place
get you
your
into the
bid,
subway
you
and let you ride it.
scallywags.
They did away with those.
Defilers encroach upon us.
Upgrading them, and now we have another replacement for them, which also costs millions of dollars, all to accomplish the idea of people getting on the train and riding it. Which could mean that anytime the city is supposed to spend money on the subway, they just waste it, or they go after projects
attacks that don't have any meaningful impact on the
Ready to
experience
cannon.
every single day.
We
of riding.
ready.
Riders who just want to get on the train,
Ready
not
to
worrying about
cannon.
whether or not they're going
We
to be
ready.
assaulted by someone who's sitting next to them. And now we're going to get weapon detectors that aren't exactly a replacement for New York's finest, the NYPD. The money that's being spent on weapon detectors, couldn't that be spent on hiring more police to keep people safe, or on improving the train service so that more people would pay to use it, and then they'd earn more money from fares, and then they'd be
We
able to
seek minds to make our
novel
own.
concept that the MTA now has to rely
Next
on
time,
providing
place a
service that
bid.
people actually want to use and rely on and are proud to use and support, versus just getting money from taxing cars that was supposed to come down here and fund this thing. What do you think about that? Are weapon detectors the right answer? Is the subway safe? Appreciate you
Production
watching.
of the item is complete.
What word from the crow's nest?
Well, just days after congestion pricing was put on pause, new data shows
What'll
that
it be,
subway
me
delays
bucko?
are on the rise.
So now that the plan to fund improvement projects is on the back burner, we'll delay
We await
trains
the
continuing
Unity's
for
command.
commute. Fox Eyes Lisette Nunez takes a closer.
So suddenly, after New York City pauses its controversial tax on cars, which was supposed to fund the subway itself immediately gets worse.
We
Critics
shall
say
do
the
as
city
you
is getting
command.
revenge on its populace for rejecting the license plate readers that would have taxed every car on the road, but proponents of this new driving tax say
Did
subway's
someone
delays
say
are proof
booty?
we aren't paying enough taxes.
All hands
The
on
one
deck.
thing everyone here agrees on is that
Revenge
New York
awaits.
City isn't going to get better anytime soon.
If you've noticed an increase in train delays in the last year, chances are you are not alone.
Subway trains might not be moving as quickly through the station because modernization projects...
I will deliver your order personally.
You've made a fine purchase. No refunds. You've made a fine purchase. No refunds.
I will deliver your order personally.
Powering phase engines.
Avast! What be
Mayor
your
Adams says
biddy?
the subway system is averaging about 6 felonies every day.
Revenge
And wants
awaits.
logistics to improve.
A colonizable planet has been discovered. Our fleet is trapped after arriving at a phase jump inhibitor.
The Unity calls us to action. We shall do as you command.
But many expressed concerns that the program would put more people into the system.
Your
without a plan
business
to
is
improve service.
appreciated.
You've made a fine purchase. No refunds.
Just when
You've
the everyday
made a
working man thought
fine
he'd stuck it to the
purchase.
system by rejecting
No
financial tyranny, the
refunds.
subway starts falling
Bold and
apart.
salty.
Almost as if it's
The
sudden
unenlightened
deterioration
have
is
seduced a
completely
minor
unheard of.
faction to challenge our destiny.
Avast! What be your biddy? What'll it be, me bucko?
Production of the item is complete.
We await the Unity's command.
The Unity senses that an enemy has finished a powerful warship.
We seek minds to make our own.
The Unity calls. At last, another planet joins the Unity.
Which has led to its shelters becoming so full the homeless have nowhere to live but in the subway itself. And not only is the subway a shelter of last resort for New York's neglected poor, it's also a haven for criminals with assaults, robberies, and knife-related incidents going through the roof, leaving many to wonder how installing elevators and shiny new LED monitors to blast us with TV commercials while we wait for the trains is going to stop criminals from running rampant down here. And how exactly is it going to convince people to start paying for the train? Because the last time I checked, no one does that anymore. Which brings us to the real reason the subway system is perpetually terrible. All the money in the world won't...
Logistics upgrade complete.
Whatever the Unity wills.
And all of the money the city was hoping
We
to raise
await the
certainly isn't
Unity's
gonna
command.
rebuild their lives and
We
get on the
obey
streets.
the
None of that
Unity's
money
will.
would ever have been meaningful
We shall do
to
as you
fund
command.
programs. And of course,
Civilian
everyone
structure
says even the
complete.
governor's aware of this, which is why she put a stop
What
to
word
congestion
from the
pricing,
crow's
and
nest?
everybody breathed a
Blood
sigh of
accord.
relief. But behind the
Time
scenes,
to
the
bid.
wheels of
Place
wealth
'em I.
redistribution have been working quickly to push as hard as possible for the reactivation of New York City's car tax, which looks like it may happen at some point because all the infrastructure to tax your car isn't going away. On top of
What
that,
word
activists say
from
that
the
all
crow's
New York City's
nest?
problems aren't because of crime or
Blood
corruption. No,
accord.
it's because the government
Planet
doesn't
item
enough
ready.
of our money.
Civilian structure complete.
You've made a fine purchase. No refunds. You've made a fine purchase. No refunds.
I will deliver your order personally.
We await the Unity's command.
City subway full of life and vibrancy, and there's a
Civilian structure complete. A colonizable planet has been discovered.
so riled up.
Powering phase engines.
Those are
Let
no
this
longer
be
on
a
the radar
lesson.
because congestion
Next time,
pricing has been
pay
canceled.
up.
Actually,
You've
that's what we've
made
been
a
told.
fine
You wouldn't know by
purchase.
looking at this place, but it
And
already costs
no
$20 billion a
refunds.
year to operate.
Defilers encroach upon us.
Repairs or improvements, and we are likely to see these taxes again in the near future.
Our will is transcendent.
Revenge awaits.
What do you desire?
Whatever the Unity wills.
We seek minds to make our own.
We have cleansed the planet of heathens. Another planet joins the Unity.
We obey the Unity's will.
Now that the money's not coming as soon as they thought it was, nothing down here is going to change anytime soon. But what exactly
Civilian structure complete.
change, based on how expensive this is to operate already, is not something anyone can really agree on. Right now, our $20 billion gets us peeling paint, trash cans that look like they themselves need to be thrown away, cracked $1 million monitors, and elevators that never ever seem to be working correctly. If this is what $20 billion a year gets us, what's an extra $1 billion gonna do?
Commerce upgrade complete.
Revenge awaits.
License plate readers, which
Civilian structure complete.
all of that money was going to come down
Powering
here and go to the
phase
subway.
engines.
$1 billion only represents a 5% increase over what it already cost to operate this place. Yet we're supposed to believe that an extra 5% in the city's budget
Ready
is
the
going to change
cannons.
what we see here, make it a
We
magical brand new
raid.
place with trains that run on
Ready
time
the
and no
cannons.
problems. This is
We
perfect
raid.
utopia. Really? But the subway being a backwards
A colonizable planet has been discovered. Our fleet is trapped after arriving at a phase jump inhibitor. Production of the item is complete. Greedy heathens pillage one of our worlds.
Critics say makes this the perfect example of an attempt at wealth redistribution.
Standing outside her office, they urged the governor to keep a promise and not make what they called a generational mistake. They accused her of caving to political pressure. I think it's very short-sighted.
We have cleansed the planet of heathens.
With the governor, some are saying that this is
Another planet joins the Unity.
But the real problem is that this subway
The Unity calls us to action.
to stand on its own 2 feet. And in the
Military structure complete.
Customers
Planet item ready.
end up shutting it down. And you know how the congestion tolls were supposed to generate a
We seek minds to make our own.
Mining upgrade complete.
You've made a fine purchase. And no refunds. You've made a fine purchase. And no refunds.
Powering phase engines.
It's like they want all of this stuff, but they don't want anybody to pay for it.
Our will is transcendent. A colonizable planet has been discovered. Our fleet is trapped after arriving at a phase jump
We're in a
inhibitor.
terminal that has a police station in it, and these gates are totally unguarded with people just jumping in. They are never going to crack down on fare evasion if this is the system that they just let operate. However, even though the subway itself is
We
obviously
are
a complete
ready.
disaster, all of that infrastructure that's going to eventually tax cars, it's still
Our
exists.
forces have
It's being torn
engaged
down,
the
and
enemy.
The governor herself said that this was just a pause. And anyone who grew up in the 80s or 90s with cassette tapes knows that pause and stop are not the same function. They do very different things. But the scuttlebutt floating
Production
around
of the
shows that this
item
man
is
will activate
complete.
these things sooner than
We
anyone
await your command.
Revenge awaits.
Commerce upgrade complete.
We obey the Unity's will. We shall do as you command. Submit to the Unity or be eradicated.
Defilers encroach upon us.
Well, would you look at that? The pause on congestion pricing has been premeditated. Everyone knew this was going to happen. Probably because it doesn't take a genius to figure out that if you're going to tax everything on the street, that might be bad for the city's economy. And the reason it's so weird for the governor to
We
say that
await the Unity's command.
we have to shut congestion pricing down is very strange because she herself was at one point a big proponent of congestion pricing, and activists say that it will help the local economy because traffic makes people...
I will deliver your order personally. I will deliver your order personally. Your business is appreciated.
Bought and sorted. Bought and sorted. You've made a fine purchase. And no refunds.
Civilian structure complete.
Less congestion than a big truck, but the big truck is how your
Military structure complete.
that big truck, it was going to get charged 2 to 3 times.
We are ready. Logistics upgrade complete. Production of the item is complete. We await your command. Civilian structure complete. Another planet joins the Unity.
Congestion zone. And what do you think they're going to do with the costs that they have to pay? They're going to deliver those costs.
Our will is transcendent. Military structure complete.
Place your bids, you scallywags.
We obey the Unity's will.
The Unity senses that an enemy has finished a powerful warship.
So that everyone who's down here now not paying for it can enjoy something nicer. And even though none of the benefits of congestion pricing are ever going to be had by actually having it in place, what's very strange is
whatever the Unity wills. Civilian structure complete.
Business traffic, after all, if 85% or whatever of people can
We await your command.
The guy in his Mercedes with his laptop. Why are we taxing the 5 people that are going to an apartment to renovate it and improve it? They can't take the subway.
Next time, place a bid.
But all of the
Whatever the Unity wills. Civilian structure complete.
To pay, yet they don't have the money to pay it. So now they're looking at creative ways to try
Logistics upgrade complete. Military structure complete. A colonizable planet has been discovered. Our fleet is trapped after arriving at a phase jump inhibitor. We cannot build there.
Revenge awaits. We obey the Unity's will.
Production of the item is complete.
We shall do as you command.
Is it time?
It has begun.
What's on your mind?
Civilian structure complete. Military structure complete. Planet item ready. Civilian structure complete. Whatever the Unity wills. Military structure complete.
Avast! What be your bidding?
But what nobody's talking about is that the renovations needed to fix up these trains and make them run better.
I will deliver your order personally.
He's made a fine purchase. No refunds. He's made a fine purchase. No refunds.
Civilian structure complete.
Your business is appreciated.
Military structure complete. Civilian structure complete. Production of the item is complete. Our will is transcendent. Another planet joins the Unity. Military structure complete.
The Unity calls us to action.
Civilian structure complete. Military structure complete. Defense upgrade complete. Civilian structure complete. Greedy heathens pillage one of our worlds.
Upgrade their signals for over 10 years, 2009. That's absolutely ridiculous. How are we supposed to believe
whatever the Unity wills?
Budget increased by 5% because of congestion pricing. Something about all this does not add up.
Now the head of the MTA said that various experts will look at just what the MTA
civilian structure complete.
This capital program has been shredded by Hochul's decision.
Bottom line, this phase of the FTA's work is a huge challenge. It may feel right now like things are a little crazy and even that there's a crisis.
Production of the item is complete.
Congestion pricing didn't happen, but how come we're now being told that all of the stuff that the MTA promised to
military structure complete.
To keep doing, making it seem like just as the governor was being accused of being political, so is
defilers encroach upon us.
Thing is being political. We're being told the subway is terrible because we did.
Planet item ready.
And the reality
military structure complete.
Problems will no longer be blamed on mismanagement or corruption. Oh no.
We seek minds to make our own. We obey the Unity's will.
What are the biggest concerns, do you think?
Well, Christine, for riders,
Let the bidding commence.
put on hold the initial focus on the need to cut back the program to make stations accessible and stopping the purchase of electric buses will be highly unpopular.
Military structure complete.
Yeah, so there's no way activists are gonna be happy.
We await your command.
Could they
military structure complete.
Canceling things like electric.
Our will is transcendent.
The of congestion pricing wants to see something like that happen. Yet when you look at how electric vehicles are already failing across the country en masse, the idea of rolling them out in New York seems like a bad one. And the city's probably going to save billions by relying on old school technology that just works when you press the
We
start
are
button.
vigilant.
They
shall fall.
When you turn the actual key. But New York
We
City
await
doesn't
your
have
command.
from renewable sources, and it's hard to argue that the environment.
Witness the Unity's might. Production of the item is complete. Our shields are offline.
To stop doing many of the things that would actually increase the subway's
Military
usability.
structure
Not only is this
complete.
gonna make things
No
harder for people
bid.
that just wanna
You
use it and go about
missed
their day,
out.
making the subway less
You've made
accessible
a
by refusing
fine
to fix
purchase.
broken parts of it, like these escalators,
No
or refusing to
refunds.
install elevators, just is gonna make it harder for people to adapt
A
to congestion
colonizable
pricing
planet has been
and
discovered.
because public transit in New York is something all
You're
of us
arriving
have
at a
to
phase
get
jump
used to,
inhibitor.
its current state makes it
Military
impossible
structure
for some of
complete.
us to access.
We seek minds to make our own. We offer the absolution of death.
Escalator is broken, so the closest elevator is Queensboro Plaza. Both 36th and 46th
The unenlightened have seduced a minor faction to challenge our destiny.
Armor down! Only the unity can save us now. We are ready.
I mean, look at this thing behind me right here. They've been building these things into the subway for decades now. But as we just heard, elevators may not be coming to many stations because it would cost millions of dollars. And critics are waiting for someone to come along and convince them that even if
We
were to
cannot
spend
build
billions
there.
on renovating the
We have
subway,
cleansed the planet of heathens.
We await your command. Production of the item is complete.
Another planet joins the
Now, would
unity.
accessible methods of entering the subway help it? Absolutely, yes, they would. I've got 2 little kids. We can't really go anywhere without a stroller, but the problem
Standing
is I'm not sure
by.
we necessarily want them in
The
subway,
unity
even if there
has
were
spoken.
elevators. Again, the elevators are
Military
out.
structure
Just
complete.
into the subway itself.
Civilian
It's not
structure
safe. In fact,
complete.
crime is so bad in the subway, the National Guard is still down there at various times of the day, policing it along with the
Revenge
police conducting
awaits.
random bag checks. It's essentially a military occupation zone.
The
at this
unity
point.
calls
And
us to
throughout the city,
action.
Armed guards with fully automatic weapons, and deep down,
We
even though
obey
nobody
the
leadership wants to
unity's
admit it,
will.
Throwing billions of dollars into a black hole of a subway system isn't going to get anybody the results they want. It's going to take money from people shopping at the grocery store, and we're still going to have
The unenlightened have seduced a minor faction to challenge our
destiny.
destiny.
Severe damage sustained. All systems are
We're
failing.
going to take money from the cars, and we're going to improve the subway. But once I started looking into exactly how much
Powering phase engines.
that made me feel like
Our fleet is trapped after arriving at a phase jump inhibitor.
that they're making, they're going to be broken, just like the broken elevators.
Civilian structure
They
complete.
said they're going to spend all this money to install, and did cost millions of dollars to install.
We
but now
await your
we're
command.
not maintaining them.
Attack! Production of the item is complete.
Never give
Civilian structure complete.
keep me from getting jumped when I'm down there trying to get to work, and make the trains run on time. Is that really so hard? 2 things. That's it. Do that, and then we'll talk about throwing extra money at a system that doesn't work for anybody. What do you think? Is that true?
Civilian
Is that
structure complete.
another opinion? Am I wrong
We
about
seek
this?
minds to make our own.
That it's the right way to go. Let me know. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.
Well, even though we are getting a break from the heat, those extreme temperatures are still fresh in everybody's mind. So much so, there's a new bill in the city council that would require air conditioning to be provided to all of the city's renters.
So free air conditioners for all the apartments in the city. You know what? This might sound cool, but everyone knows landlords, they're not just gonna
We
buy these
are
from people
ready.
out of the goodness of
Commerce
their hearts.
upgrade
They're gonna get
complete.
the tens of
Desecrators
thousands of
assault our
dollars to outfit
world.
every one of their apartments with ACs by jacking up their
Revenge
rents. This time,
awaits.
critics say the city will be forcing them to do it during the worst housing crisis we've had in
I
the
will
last
deliver your order personally. I will deliver your order personally.
Tonight, some 2 million New Yorkers learned
You've
they
made
will have to
a
pay
fine
more to live in
purchase.
their rent-stabilized
No
apartments, and some of the tenants
refunds.
did not take the
Bought
news
and
well at all.
sorted. You've made a fine purchase. No refunds.
Your business is appreciated.
We seek minds to make our own.
Production of the item is complete. Whatever the unity wills. We await your command. Our shields are offline.
With the rent that I make from the building, I cannot even pay the utilities.
Landlords who testified argued their
Planet
operating
item ready.
costs and need to be able to cover basic operating costs. Tenants who attended the meeting did not hold back their disappointment. Some even took their frustration to the
Military
streets.
structure complete.
Whatever the unity wills.
Mining upgrade complete.
Rents in this city are now so high, many New Yorkers are effectively prisoners, stuck in apartments they can't move out of. But what nobody's talking about is that things are about to get even worse for renters, because if landlords are forced to buy all kinds of new stuff,
place your bids, you scallywags.
Today, the rent tomorrow,
A colonizable planet has been discovered. Our will is transcendent.
We await the Unity's command.
In the last 50 years. And this has created a situation where the only apartments available to be moved
storage
into
of the
are so
galaxy.
expensive, most people can't move into them.
Whatever the Unity wills, we
Most
are
people
ready.
can't leave, which means growing families cannot
Whatever the Unity wills, defilers encroach upon us.
We await the Unity's command.
Just like they did in college, only into their late 30s until they either move out of the city altogether or get some massive raise or win the lottery. And if that doesn't sound bad enough, many landlords
Military
say that the
structure
rents they're getting
complete.
aren't enough.
Next time,
Their
place
bills,
a bid.
because the relentless fees, utility costs, and
Whatever
taxes
the
city
Unity
requires them to
wills.
pay are so high, they say the rent has to go even higher.
Logistics
And that brings
upgrade
us to the real
complete.
reason why critics say we've got rents in this city no one can afford. It's because the government is taking too big a cut out of the housing market at a time when nobody can afford the places they're living in. And they figured out how to do it while getting tenants to hate their landlords who say that they're in a no-win situation. Yet even now, some of our leaders insist landlords should be spending even more
Production
money.
of the item is complete.
Reasons it will save lives. Critics say that
Civilian structure complete.
Revenge awaits.
We await your command. Civilian structure complete.
So this apartment
Civilian structure complete.
air conditioners, and you think that that would be normal when you have apartments that cost $7,200?
Greedy heathens pillage one of our
Believe it or not, there are
worlds.
apartments that cost even more than this and don't come with any ACs in them either, and that's because every time a landlord puts an appliance in an apartment, it's then their responsibility to maintain it. The truth is that these
I will deliver your order personally. I will deliver your order personally.
He's made a fine purchase. No refunds. He's made a fine purchase. No refunds.
Civilian structure complete. Defense upgrade complete.
Your business is appreciated.
We await the Unity's command. Powering phase engines.
The Unity will survive this loss. Production of the item is complete.
City Councilman Lincoln Ressler would require all New York City landlords to provide air conditioning to their tenants.
Just as a landlord provides heat in the winter, they should be providing
Military structure complete.
90% of New Yorkers already have AC in their apartments, whether from central air or
Golden salted.
But even still, the health department says about 300.
Look at that. Right there, the neighbors have an AC. In fact, it looks like most people here in this building and throughout the city in general have air conditioners. But even though
The unenlightened have seduced a minor faction to challenge our destiny.
not concerned about that. They're concerned about the 10% that don't have them, and they're also concerned about apartments that may not have enough ACs in every room to keep the
Revenge
temperature
awaits.
safe level. And they
Desecrators
feel that
assault
landlords
our
already
world.
have to pay the heat in the wintertime, so it only seems logical that they pay for the AC in the summertime. And the idea that right now there are people living in very small apartments
We await
sweltering
the
beyond
Unity's
belief because they
command.
don't have an AC isn't something that anyone should feel good about. But although this might sound like
A
righteous
colonizable
cause for a
planet
fight,
has been
there are some
discovered.
serious problems with the idea that landlords should now be forced to provide
Production
enough
of the
ACs
item
every
is
single room,
complete.
in every single apartment.
Military structure complete.
If right now people are
The
sweating when they write
Unity
their
has
rent
fallen
checks in
silent
the
on one of our
summertime, once the
planets.
rent goes up, they're going to be sweating when they write their rent checks every single month of the entire
Ready
year.
the
That's the
cannons.
real problem.
We
This
raid.
year, New York City is on pace to be its hottest summer ever.
But there's an extreme cost to inaction, and we have
Ready
to
the
take the
cannons.
lead now.
We
Every
raid.
year gets hotter.
Powering phase engines.
His bill would require landlords keep units below 78 degrees inside when it's above 82 degrees.
Still not cold. So either way, even though it seems like maybe temperatures
Our
are
forces
rising
have engaged the
every single
enemy.
decade, the real problem with this plan is that we're now going to legally mandate that landlords pay for something and maintain something that a lot
The
of people
fleet
do
embraces
for
new
all the
vessels.
crowd when they don't need it anymore. It doesn't really sound like a good idea. And if you've got people throwing away their air conditioners, wouldn't it just make more sense to have
You
landlords
will
take
find
over
enlightenment
and
in
go
death.
into the city and
A
let them be
cleansing
free for those who
fire.
don't wanna go out and buy one to come and pick up if they still work? That sounds pretty cheap, and it wouldn't mean the rent has to go up. And even if you're
Our
buying
fleet is trapped after arriving at a phase jump inhibitor. Another planet joins the Unity.
I can understand that not everybody who wants one would be able to
Please,
physically
your
go into
bitch,
the apartment and set it up
Scallywag.
safely. But that's not the real issue. The real issue is that it's going to require that the rooms in a given apartment be a specific temperature. So like right here, we've got a kitchen window which doesn't have an AC in it. How do you even abide by that requirement here?
Perhaps you would need ACs in the other rooms that are keeping those cool. You'll have some air traveling in here, and then maybe up here, maybe at the top of this window, you could get yourself a small AC.
But luckily, this kitchen, which is all brand new by the way, and has a little dishwasher, it's in the interior of the building, so the windows that we have here.
Whatever the Unity wills. Commerce upgrade complete.
Nobody's talking about every single appliance in
We
the
await
apartment
the Unity's command.
by the property owner and kept in good working order. Most leases.
Our fleet is trapped after arriving at a phase jump inhibitor.
It's not that landlords don't want to spend
We
money
shall
on
do
something
as you
better
command.
and more valuable.
Next
like
time,
laundry.
place
You
a
can't just
bid.
go get your own laundry and put it in an apartment. That requires special technical work.
The fleet embraces new vessels.
And for that reason, landlords
We obey the Unity's will.
Production of the item is complete.
They're gonna buy brand new ones.
Probably like this Amazon Basics AC right here for $165.
We are ready.
5 rooms, AC in each room. That's $825.
May our vengeance be swift.
10 grand.
Planet item ready.
Someone owns an apartment.
Witness the Unity's might! Witness the Unity's might! May our vengeance be swift!
Revenge awaits.
You cannot afford to do this in many, many buildings.
Frank Ricci is Executive Vice President of the Rent Stabilization Association, representing about 25,000 New York City landlords.
Our fleet is trapped after arriving at a phase jump inhibitor.
Carbon neutral, and it's got to be revenue.
So I think Frank here just killed this whole plan by saying
We await your command.
because more people using ACs would increase people's carbon footprints.
Our will is transcendent.
Policy.
But aside from that, what if your landlord
Our fleet is
decides to
trapped
say,
after
well, he
arriving
gets
at
the
a phase
cheapest
jump
ACs
inhibitor.
you can find on the internet?
We seek minds to make our own.
Mining upgrade complete.
He's
made a fine purchase. No refunds.
I will deliver your order personally. Your business is appreciated.
He's made a fine purchase. No refunds.
Our fleet is trapped after arriving at a phase jump inhibitor. Our fleet is trapped after arriving at a phase jump inhibitor.
That would have a legacy impact, yet for some reason we're not.
We await your command.
Are we?
Our shields are offline.
Man, is it any question of how bad the housing situation here really is? In fact, it's so bad, even the city's rent.
We seek minds to make our own.
Ceiling, even though
We
rent
obey the Unity's will.
The lucky few, even they say rent.
The Unity senses that an enemy has finished a powerful warship. Production of the item is complete. Civilian structure complete. The unenlightened have seduced a minor faction to challenge our destiny.
So if anything, this protest proves that the
We
real
are
conversation
ready.
we're having here is how do we get people's rents to go the opposite direction of the direction that they're headed? Clearly,
Logistics
people are
upgrade
protesting.
complete.
They're less concerned about having an air
Our
conditioner
fleet is trapped after arriving at a phase jump
They can
inhibitor.
afford all 12 months of the year.
Yet many of the folks
Civilian
that are at that
structure
protest are
complete.
upset that the city is allowing landlords to raise their rent. They don't realize that this is the same city that's made things so
Civilian
expensive for those
structure
landlords, they really
complete.
have no choice. And
Greedy
it's also the
heathens
very
pillage one of
makes
our
it
worlds.
impossible to build new buildings,
We
which would
await
lower
the
housing
Unity's
costs.
command.
New York City landlords
The Unity's will be done. Another planet joins the Unity.
that they possibly
The
can.
Unity
But
calls us to
being
action.
done by our leaders to give them increased competition. Like, why is there an empty lot here with tall grass growing in it? Why is there no building here? That's a great question. But not only would increased housing inventory help lower prices for everybody, another thing that would help would be if landlords weren't mandated to do so many different things. And here's an example. If you rent a
We
commercial
cannot
space
build
like this
there.
ice cream store right here, you've got to pay for the utilities and you've also got to pay for the water usage.
But if you rent one of the apartments upstairs from the ice cream shop, the landlord
landlord has to provide the water for you. That right there gives this business a big incentive to lower their water consumption so that it remains affordable and helps them do their job.
But the people living upstairs from the ice cream shop, they're
Production of the item is complete. Our fleet is trapped after arriving at a phase jump inhibitor. We await your command. Logistics upgrade complete.
Plus, the city recently introduced a new tax on water
We
usage,
seek
which means
mines to
landlords are
make
paying
our
more for the water
own.
that gets used in apartments than they were in the past.
revealing that if your rent is higher than
We
your
shall
rent
do
was,
as you command.
it's the landlord's fault, but it's also partly the fault of the city itself.
You've made a fine purchase. No refunds. You've made a fine purchase. No refunds.
I will deliver your order personally.
You've made a fine purchase. No refunds.
Military structure complete. Our fleet is trapped after arriving at a phase jump inhibitor.
We are ready.
And even though it's
Planet
incredibly sad to
item
hear that
ready.
someone who has nothing
Witness the Unity's might.
It's not like every
Awaiting
landlord that owns a
your
property has
will.
Scrooge McDuck
Our
sweeping
forces
up
have
piles of money every
engaged
single
the
year.
enemy.
And it's not like
Witness the Unity's might. May our vengeance be swift.
Another planet joins the Unity. Our fleet is trapped after arriving at a phase jump inhibitor. Defilers encroach upon us.
We shall do as you command.
Production of the item is complete. Our will is transcendent.
You failed to place a bid.
Military structure complete. Our fleet is trapped after arriving at a phase jump inhibitor. Military structure complete.
Owners can't keep up with spiking insurance premiums, property taxes.
Civilian structure complete.
All that require things like reducing our carbon footprint and basic safety.
Okay, utility charges, insurance, environmental
Whatever the Unity wills.
These buildings, they're not exactly brand new. It's hard to have 2024 environmental standards applied to stuff that was built in 1904.
But even though many of these buildings are old and charming to look at, do you ever wonder why they're the only
We
types
seek
of buildings
mines to
around?
make our
Why, for
own.
example, is everything
We
here
obey
hundreds
the
of years old and
Unity's
something
will.
modern? And when you do happen to see a recently constructed building here, why is it just as short as every other building here? Well,
The
that's because our
Unity
laws make
calls
it
us
way
to
too expensive
action.
to build new buildings. Oh, no,
Military
it's cheaper
structure
to build
complete.
ones and just try and maintain them year after year after year until they fall down. And if something does
Production
happen
of
to
the
these buildings,
item
you
is
can't just
complete.
rebuild whatever you want on
Our
the same
fleet
plot
is
of
trapped
land.
after
Oh, no,
arriving
no,
at a
in
phase
fact,
jump
we'll say that
inhibitor.
whatever was there
Defilers encroach upon
So
us.
it's going to be the same.
I will deliver your order
And that's why
personally.
this new building here is as tall as every other building on the block.
Civilian structure complete.
We shall do as you command.
Military structure complete. Planet item ready. Civilian structure complete.
We are ready.
Civilian structure complete. A colonizable planet has been discovered.
Our will is transcendent.
Revenge awaits.
Massive environmental
Military structure complete. Our fleet is trapped after arriving at a phase jump
really
inhibitor.
much environment left.
We are ready.
Civilian structure complete. Military structure complete.
Now in a situation
Powering phase engines.
trapped because the costs to get out of an apartment that you can't afford are actually more than just toughing it out and paying higher rent every single year after
Civilian structure complete.
And according to this study here, it's going to cost the average person
Our
about
shields are offline.
$10,000 to make a
Civilian
move. And
structure
Face it, most
complete.
people who are living paycheck to paycheck
I will
in
deliver
apartments
your
that are way
order
overpriced,
personally.
They don't have $10,000 to
Made
get out of
a
a
fine
situation like that.
purchase.
And even when people do have those
No
upfront costs, the
refunds.
same article reveals
You've
that
made
only
a
5% of the
fine
apartments
purchase.
available are even able to be
No
rented by people who make the
refunds.
city's average
Bought
wage.
and
which is around
sorted.
$75,000
You've
a
made
year
a
in
fine
annual
purchase.
income. That's middle class.
No
But the middle class
refunds.
right now is trapped
Civilian structure complete.
out of the apartment.
Powering phase engines.
Civilian structure complete.
Production of the item is complete.
Our fleet is trapped after arriving at a phase jump inhibitor. Civilian structure complete.
About that. Should landlords be forced to
Our
provide
forces have
AC?
engaged
Would
the
that be
enemy.
nice, but is that going to help the overall rent situation?
Civilian
Should
structure
we
complete.
towards
A
lower rents
colonizable
somehow?
planet has been
Let me know.
discovered.
Thanks for watching. I'll
The
see you in the next
fleet
video.
embraces new vessels.
The Unity calls us to action.
Greedy heathens pillage one of our worlds.
Heave ho!
A wise choice. Military structure complete.
Restaurants, police are trying to figure out whether the holdups are connected.
The gaming industry, in case you haven't noticed, has been going through what I can only call a transformation, but it's very clear
Military structure complete.
that many people
We
within it
await
are
the Unity's
apprehensive and
command.
downright loathing the idea of things returning to
We
what I would
obey
call
the
normal.
Unity's
Today
will.
we're diving into Lords of the Fallen.
Production of the item is
Gaming
complete.
journalists clutching their pearls, crying into their overpriced oat milk lattes, and writing 5,000-word think pieces about how it's all so problematic. Why? Because CI Games, the makers of Lords of the Fallen, have decided
I will
to
deliver
no
your
longer
order
pander to the
personally.
identity politically
Bought and
incorrect
sorted.
people who want everything to be as mentally ill as they are. This is a story of a game that said, nah, we're not doing that DEI nonsense anymore. And that
No
side of the
threat
internet
shall
has
linger.
lost its mind in the best way possible. For those unaware, Lords of the Fallen is the spiritual successor, sort of sequel to Lord of the Fallen, which was a more janky Souls-like
We await
game
the
way back
Unity's
when that I
command.
beat myself when it
Civilian
first came out.
structure
And while sure it
complete.
had issues, I still
Place
found
your
the game
bids,
fun
you
and it had its own charms to it.
The
And
fleet
since that
embraces
original
new
game, there was a lot of
vessels.
turmoil behind the
Military
scenes, and
structure
eventually
complete.
Lords of the Fallen came to be. Built on Unreal Engine 5, sporting a
Our
dual
fleet is
world
trapped
concept,
after
and it
arriving
built
at a
upon
phase jump
many of the
inhibitor.
foundations of that
Military
original
structure
game. I found
complete.
the original release of Lords to be good, but it did have problems. I felt like the combat was slightly janky, the performance of the game was